Okay, this little guy, trying to make a mining UFO was the idea. Basically a miner that launches from the planet, goes up into the orbital asteroids and mines some rare stuff. And my thinking was to try and make it electric, give it ions, and it was based around the idea that a single downward jet engine, a nice big jet engine right in the middle of the aircraft, which you can see at the back here, facing downwards, that should give me the hover power I need. So it's got the drill, mounting a couple of guns, giving it more of a saucer shape here. It's still got the giant oxygen tank right on the roof at this point. I was experimenting with how UFO shaped exactly I was going to have it and get it, where to put the ion engines, fiddling around with the layout at this stage. So the idea was to have the jet engine so that I could hover close to ground level and then have a bunch of ion engines so I could fly up and eventually reach the point where the ion engines are nice and powerful, and they would take me into orbit and I'd be able to use them to mine, come back down, and I wouldn't crash from being too heavy because I've got this nice jet turbine that can help me hover, and maybe some parachutes. Parachutes are also good. So at this point I was putting lots of rock ejectors on it, and I promptly discovered that there's a limited capacity for the conveyor belts, and that all these rock ejectors weren't actually working. Just the first one would work because the conveyor doesn't feed anything to the remaining ones because the first one has already pooped out the rock for you. So that needed changing. The oxygen tanks moved at this point. It eventually got removed altogether because you don't need an oxygen tank that desperately when you're just leaving the atmosphere and coming back again. It's got some aerodynamic wings built into the front of the saucer at this point. It's now got some hydrogen tanks and some hydrogen engines because I found I needed a bit of a boost here and there. And it's got some maneuvering jets because ions are absolutely useless for maneuvering at low altitudes. Still got the oxygen tank and a tube for that oxygen tank running along the upper roof area at this stage. Eventually get rid of the oxygen tank down the back, go for more rear ion engines in a quest to try and escape from the power of evil gravity. Maintaining the overall saucer shape, going double drill, and experimenting with where to put hydrogen. Do I just want hydrogen on the bottom and boost straight upwards, or do I want it facing backwards and tilt upwards and blast into the stratosphere? That is the question. So it's still much experimentation going on and additions for this. But I'm thinking overall what I really want is one jet engine and lots of ion engines facing straight downwards, and I just thrust straight upwards until I get into orbit, fart around on ion engines, and then when I come back down, the ion engines gradually come weaker as I get lower. But it's alright because I've just got so damn many of them. This is just before some flights, filling up on hydrogen fuel from this connector up outside. More or less the final version of this particular craft. Some aerodynamic wings, some ions and some hydrogens, all mixed and combined with some jets in one crazy test package. So I'll be making a more refined version of this, an all-electric version. I'm on the quest for all-electric, and I will be ditching the hydrogen in my new and improved version of this craft. 2 parachutes in the tail, you can see there. I mean, this one works, but it's not my original idea of going all electric. So we shall see. This one's fun, but we'll see how my new all electric idea goes. Possibly next time.